Hey guys, I'm Grestar and welcome back to more Ace Academy. So yes, as this game does not provide a like previously on Ace Academy kind of thing, we did recently get a bit of a time skip forward where, I don't know how much we actually skipped forward. Maybe we didn't skip that much forward actually, because all it really established was that we've been at Ace Academy and like living in Isakaze and everything for a month. And so maybe, yeah, we really didn't skip a lot of time. Maybe that was just like a kind of recap of that first month and a little bit of the stuff that happened during the time skip, however brief it may have been. But we have been pursuing Kaori as a dating option, you know? She was the only option that was presented one morning when it's like, what do I plan to do today? Or what are my plans for today? She was the only listed thing. And that was fine by me because she was the only one that right now I would be interested in really pursuing a relationship with. Like, maybe Valerie, if sorry, I hope that didn't pop up. If Valerie weren't also so suspicious all of the time, you know? Like, the way that we first met her, and then how she's been acting, and, like, snooping with Eagle and everything, you know, it still seems very suspect to me, and so, it's really just Kaori at this point that I'm interested in romantically, so we are going to load where we ended up last. I did actually manage to find where to do an official save instead of just a quick save, so we're gonna start from there. I wake up at the sound of my alarm, then begin my morning routine. When I enter the kitchen, I make myself a bowl of cereal. Nikki's already left for school. Lately, she's been leaving early almost every day. It barely phases me anymore. That's the wrong kind of phases, you want F-A-Z-E-S. Especially after I found cereal in the grocery store. The most expensive box of Tiger Flakes I've ever bought, but they're pretty good. Finishing up breakfast, I hop on my bike and head to school. Valerie is already waiting for me and waves me over as soon as I enter the classroom.
I have news for you.
Right, so last time, in the last recording session, I also called her during one of the opportunities, you know, where I was given a list of people that I could, you know, choose. And, yeah, I chose her, and we planned on, like, our date to go explore the city of Isakaze for our foreign international bridging kind of class. Good news or bad news? She pauses, then grins playfully.
Come with me to the hangar after class and I'll show you.
Alright. The hangar? So it's something to do with my core?
What else would it be about?
Oh, you do spend a lot of time there. Take your pick. Nothing. Shh, top one, I don't know. Good point. You spend so much time at the hangar, sometimes I wonder if that's where you sleep.
I'm not sure sleep is the term I'd use.
More
like an extended rest.
Okay. She smiles sweetly. Right. Valerie waits expectantly.
So?
So what?
You haven't said yes yet. Will you come with me to the hangar?
I just assumed that was obvious. Yeah, I'll go with you.
Good. I was starting to think maybe you didn't want to be alone with me.
Well, I mean, you know, pros and cons, I'd say. Before I can respond, the professor raises her voice over the chatter.
Good morning, everyone. In today's lesson, we will cover...
Nothing! This is the most boring class ever.
That's all for today. Have a great rest of your day.
Wah, 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 wah. Okay. Next, we have... Are we going straight to the hangar, then? Just as I finish packing up my things, Valerie grabs my hand and pulls me towards the door.
Let's go!
Sure, just give me a minute. Nope, not even that, but she's already started walking with me in tow. I hastily grab my bag. Or we can go now. And so we did. We cut across campus and enter the hangar through the main entrance instead of the pilot's lounge. Inside the hangar, Valerie rushes straight to Eagle's terminal, shooting impatient glances at me as I follow behind. She sets herself in front of my terminal, and after typing in a sequence, she proudly points at the screen.
Check it out.
Checking! Cool numbers! I'd rather be checking you out. Stare silently. I stare at the continuous string of numbers on the screen. After a moment, Valerie waves her hand in my face.
Hello? Anybody there?
I snap back to reality. What are you doing?
Just making sure you're still there. You spaced out on me.
Sorry, there's just Matrix, you know? No, I was checking out the numbers.
Pretty cool, right?
It might be if I knew what it was.
Well, you know how all the system scans we've been doing haven't shown anything new?
Yeah?
Our approach was the mistake.
Oh.
I was thinking, if I wanted to leave a secret message on a system, I would embed it into existing code and spoof the service identity so that it would remain inconspicuous during scans.
That's reasonable enough, okay. That makes sense.
Well, I was doing a manual evaluation through listed services during the last week and noticed a discrepancy here. When I tried to execute it, it came back with this screen.
Her voice grows with excitement.
I'm positive there's something behind this code.
Really? Then let's find out what that is.
I was hoping you'd say that. Tell me how to decrypt it and we'll find out in a second.
About that. What makes you think I know how to do that? She raises an eyebrow.
Doesn't any of this look familiar?
I squint at the screen and scroll through the code. No, although Dad and I worked together to build Eagle, he didn't let me touch the programming for the core. Would you be able to hack it? Valerie bites her lip as she thinks.
Yeah, but it might take a few days.
That's probably still faster than it would take me to figure it out. She grins.
I won't argue with that. Okay, I'll do it.
I guess she now has permission. Alright.
But only because you're cute.
And hot. She winks at me, then turns towards the terminal. Thanks? Already engrossed in the code, Valerie gives me a short wave of dismissal. Short wave of dismissal. Talking can be hard. As I find my way out of the hangar, my phone dings with an email from the school administration. I scan through the contents. Huh. Due to the disqualification of Team Strike X, my team will now face Onabugeisha in this week's match. Onabugeisha, I don't know what that is. Alright, I should probably have a name in mind. I don't, though. I wonder what Strike X did to get themselves disqualified. My phone vibrates with a group chat from Show. So you guys get that email? I type out my response. Yeah, I wonder what Strike X did. Probably lied about something important. That's one reason why I left. Oh, were you in Strike X? Wait, Strike X was Show and Coyote's old team? As I'm typing out a question for Show about what happened with him in Strike X, a text from Mayu comes in. Looks like we'll go against Onabugeisha instead. Onabugeisha does sound familiar, but I can't recall which team they are. Also, at this point, since in the little, the recap of the time skip, which wasn't a month long, but established that we've been here a month, that kind of thing, it did say that we continued our winning streak. So, like, how many battles did we have? How many matches did we have? What rank are we now? That kind of thing. Because we were ranked 21, I'm pretty sure. So I'm curious. Who are they again? A team we must demolish. Of course, Coyote would write in all caps. Whoa, that's even more aggressive than usual. Shut up, Show. Please don't be upset, Coyote. I'm fine. Okay. Well, the texts come in. I rack my brain, trying to recall how I know that name. Oh, right. Never mind. They're that all-girls team, right? Is that with May and everything? Yeah. They're supposed to be pretty good. Who cares? I won't let them beat us. The texts cease after that. Probably for the best. What do I feel like doing now? Cody, Mayu, Yuna. I mean, out of these, I would still like to establish more of a relationship with Mayu in particular, because I feel like me and Yuna are already pretty close. I've only hung out once with Mayu, but you know what? It's kind of her fault, because I said if she ever needs anything, if she ever needs help on assignments or whatnot, she can, call me or whatever. She hasn't done that, so I'm gonna see about Coyote again, because she's my favorite. I'd like to get an early start on studying for the next chapter. Time to head to the library. I'm gonna bump into her there of all places. The library is filled with students, and I don't spot any free tables. Looks like other people had the same idea. I spot a familiar plume of red hair sitting alone at a table in the corner. It's rare to spot Coyote at the library. She doesn't notice me as I approach. If I didn't know better, I'd say she looked half asleep. Mind if I join you? You didn't have the seat. You didn't have to save a seat just for me. Move over, you're hogging the entire table. I'll be nice. I'm glad I ran into you. This place is packed. Okay, I was like, I did click. Coyote looks around groggily, like she has just woken up, then greets me with a yawn.
Yeah, I guess it is.
You feeling alright? You look a little...
I look a little what?
Her eyes flash. She might be groggy, but she's still Coyote. A little tired. Everything okay?
Huh? No, I'm fine. Why?
Because you look tired. The bags under her eyes tell a different story. I'm just concerned. For a moment, it almost looks like she's going to pull back and hit me. When her hands finally move, I flinch. But, to my surprise, she delivers an intense and dramatic stretching yawn.
I guess it doesn't matter if I tell you.
That's right, it doesn't. Maybe it's just because she's tired, but she seems relieved to be talking about it.
One of the volunteers at the daycare left, and I had to take on their students. We were already short-staffed, but now it's much worse.
That's a relief.
What? Why?
She's never seen you look so worn out. I thought you were doing shenaniganry. I don't blame her. That's a math textbook. I'll go at the top. I thought it might be something serious. She narrows her eyes.
Serious?
Yeah, like family or school stuff.
You're saying that I don't take my job with these kids seriously?
Hey, don't put words in my mouth. No, that's not what I meant. Cody lets out another big yawn.
Don't worry about me. I just have to work a few doubles until we find a replacement.
I was tempted to do the math option, by the way, about the math textbook, because that is something I'd say, but my character in particular is intellectual, so I didn't want to. Why don't you share the work with the rest of the staff?
Do you know anything at all about educating children?
Not really.
Obviously. At that age, one of the worst things you can do is to switch up their instructors. It has a terrible impact on their learning. Children need stability and time to build up trust. And while they're getting used to us, we're learning about them. It takes time to understand how a child learns, what they're feeling.
Still, I mean, it's still kind of weird that, like, if a volunteer dropped out and that's what's causing the issues in the first place, you know, you'd think that switching around staff might, you know, like, obviously it would get rid of a little bit of the time to do what she's talking about, building up trust and all that. But it still might be necessary until you get another, like, solid position filled.
Some kids might have an easier time with change, and it won't matter as much if they are rotating staff members. But other kids already have unstable homes to go home to. The daycare is the only place they feel safe.
Oh, I didn't realize.
And if I have to work a little bit harder for a week or two to make sure they get the best care, I will.
It's still a matter of, like, the consistency. Still, you need to take care of yourself, too.
I am.
You're falling asleep while studying. Are you going to fall asleep in the middle of a match, too? Clearly, you're not getting enough rest. She crosses her arms, but doesn't say anything. I'm not trying to pry into your personal life, but you're my friend. I just want to make sure you're okay. She continues to stay silent, but her look softens. Besides, if you get sick, then I'll have a replacement instructor anyway. Her eyes widen before she looks down.
I guess that makes sense.
Right? She sighs.
Maybe I'll take it a bit easier.
I smile and nod.
But I'm fine right now.
Again,
so
the
don't
audio,
worry
like,
about me.
jumping, skipping around. Yes, ma'am.
Don't call me ma'am!
Yes, Ms. Itami.
No!
Mrs. Itami?
I'm going to hurt you now.
She leans over the table, her fist ready to slug my shoulder. Thankfully, I see it coming and quickly lean back. Too far. My chair wobbles precariously, and I grasp wildly for something to hold on to. Thud. That didn't go well for me. A few students look over while I rub my sore head. Coyote blinks at me in surprise and masks a giggle. Once sufficiently amused, she offers me a hand and helps pull me upright. We study together in silence for a while. She occasionally glances at me, but averts her gaze whenever I look at her. Can I help you focus on studying? I won't draw attention and embarrass her. I'll just focus on my studying. I ignore our exchanging glances and refocus on studying. We study for a while long before Coyote's phone vibrates. After checking her text, she starts packing up. We say goodbye and I leave a short time thereafter. Now, if the other button had been phrased differently, instead of like, do you need something or whatever, maybe, but don't want to assume. I'm in the pilot's lounge watching the Japan vs. China gear playoff match. The lounge is packed with students as this is a highly anticipated game. Many shout at the TV, but I watch in silence, sipping my drink and enjoying the ambiance.
Exciting game, right?
Oh, it's Akira, or Akira, because I think that different students, like voice acting, you know, say it differently. I glance up in surprise, but nod. Akira grins and sits down on the seat across from me. Although he seems like a nice guy, we don't talk very often, so it's unusual he'd approach me. I suppose I do have a really good view of the TV, though. A string of boos and yells fill the room as China... A string of boos and yells fills! It's a string fills as China takes out one of Japan's gears. People are really getting into it this time.
Yeah, it was predicted that this year China was going to be a strong opponent for Japan. And it looks like that's coming true.
Ah, yeah. Is that why there's such a big turnout? I gesture to the crowded room. Akira nods.
This is the first year that China's even made it this far in the playoffs.
Oh.
Everyone's watching to see who will come out on top.
I think that's fair. Who do you think will win? He doesn't even hesitate.
Japan. What do you think?
Japan. Definitely Japan. China might be catching up, but their technology hasn't reached the same innovative standards as Japan's. Plus, this year's lineup is a completely new team, so they don't have the same player advantage as Japan's seasoned team. See, like, I as a person, you know, I don't know all that. Only the character. I have to rely on his judgment.
I agree.
He gives me a long look. I wonder what he's thinking.
Speaking of matches, I believe congratulations are in order for you and your team.
Dang right. Me? Your team is still holding the #1 spot on the leaderboards.
Sure, but you guys are quickly catching up. You started out at rank 21, but you've already made it to rank 11.
Rank 11, now we know. Yeah, it's kind of weird to think about it. And we're going against an even better team this week since Strike X got disqualified.
Yeah, the school is taking no chances with them.
What do you mean? Akira blinks.
You didn't hear?
No.
The team lead and one of his starting pilots got into a huge fight, and they did not hold back. I mean, there were some serious injuries, so both members obviously couldn't compete.
I did not know that. Why did they fight?
The leader decided to sideline his starting pilot, and his pilot didn't like that.
They're on the same team. Couldn't they just talk it out? I'm sure the leader had a reason. Akira shrugged.
I don't know all the details, but my guess is that there probably wasn't a good reason to sideline the pilot. Either way, because the fight escalated to the degree in which Ace had to get involved, the school is currently investigating the team.
Gotcha. That's crazy stuff.
Yeah. Who are you going up against now?
What was it? Onabugeisha, yeah.
Oh, May's team.
I was right. It's May's team. Yeah, I hear they're strong. Akira nods.
They are, but so are you. In fact, I'm really looking forward to my match with you.
Well then. That might still be a while considering my team's rank.
Right, but you guys have been on a winning streak, haven't you?
Yeah?
Because of that, your matchmaking rating, or MMR, is actually higher than your earned rank. That tends to happen with outliers like being an undefeated team.
I see. What he says makes sense. Plus, I'm not going to question Akira about how being undefeated works.
I have a feeling that if you beat Onabugeisha, it won't be long before we face each other on the field.
Don't jinx us, we won't go easy on you. It is what it is. Don't get too comfortable in that #1 spot. Akira merely smiles. We continue to watch the game in silence. After a while, Akira stands.
I wish I could watch the end of this match, but I've got to head to class. I'll see you later.
I nod. Goodbye. After Akira leaves, I check my phone and notice a text from Sho. Oh. Don't forget tomorrow we'll be getting our game on at the beach. Meet there at 11. I did forget about that. As if I could forget that. I mean, I did not forget about that. Not at all. Nope. I shoved my phone back into my pocket and watched the rest of the game. In the end, Japan won with just 1 gear left standing. Ha! I was right! At least about that one match. I've still got some time before I head home tonight. So we'll see Sho for sure at the beach. I mean, we'll probably see Valerie there too. I feel like the whole team was invited, including like Valerie and Yuna. But I know we'll see Sho. And I am curious to see if Valerie found anything else. I guess it's the same day. But wait, when are we even doing the exploring Isakaze bit? Or was that time skipped actually? That could have been time skipped. I guess that probably was time skipped, huh? Interesting. I think I still will visit Valerie though and see what's up. I wonder what Valerie's up to. Finally, it's a case where it's like, I mean, it's not the only time, but finally another case where he specifically like seeks out the person I select. I dial her number and wait for her to answer.
Hello?
Hey, Valerie, you busy?
Yeah, I'm about to go meet a friend for some coffee.
She's talking about me. Oh, anyone I know?
It's you, silly.
Oh.
I'll meet you at the cafe, in front of the bookstore.
Sounds like a plan. I'll see you in a bit.
Au revoir.
Off we go. I make my way to the cafe. Valerie is waiting for me in a booth by the time I arrive.
It's rude to keep a lady waiting.
I came as fast as I... Wait. I'm sorry, you, a lady? Ha, stare her down. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I got here as fast as I could.
Oh, alright. I'll forgive you then. But only because you were so eager to see me.
That's true. She winks at me. Have you ordered yet?
No, I was waiting for a certain someone to get their butt over here.
That's also me. So what I'm hearing is you want to see my butt. Valerie smirks.
Give me a twirl then.
Bloody sure, I'll do it. Wait, I won't fall for your objectification. I put the Maximus in Gluteus Maximus. Change topic. I'm gonna do the third one and hope that it comes across as something playful. I don't have to because I'm more than just my body. That's right, Valerie smirks.
Sounds like someone skipped their squats at the gym and is embarrassed.
Also that. I won't fall for that either. She pouts, but has trouble keeping a straight face. I flip open the menu and take a minute to read my options. Valerie and I both place our orders, then she pulls out a pencil and sketchbook. What are you doing?
Not me, you.
Huh? She pushes the sketchbook towards me and grins playfully. Oh no!
I want you to draw me.
I knew this was coming! I knew this was coming! I knew that reference was coming! And if she hadn't made it, I was about to make it afterward. I am not an artist, but if she wants me to... Okay. I pick up the pencil awkwardly. I don't even know where to start. I'm not very good at drawing. I haven't really done this before.
That's okay. I'll help you since it's your first time.
She leans onto the table, rests her chin in her hands, and flashes me a warm smile. Taking this as my cue to start drawing, I clumsily trace the pencil around the page. As hard as I try, my uncoordinated fingers cannot illustrate what my eyes see. I know how that is.
Are you done yet?
Valerie speaks through her teeth, trying not to disturb her pose. No. I continue to sketch. After a few minutes, Valerie tries again.
How about now?
Still no. She waits another couple of minutes.
Now?
Calm down, it'll be done when it's done, woman. Just kidding about the woman part. She sighs heavily.
The things I have to do for you.
In case you forgot, you're the one who asked me to draw you. You can't rush these things.
Shouldn't you be concentrating? What are you doing talking to me?
You're the one talking to me.
If you spent more time on your drawing and less time blaming me for things, you'd be done by now.
I glare at her. She winks before returning to her pose. We fall silent as I work on the drawing. Valerie stares confidently at me, never looking away when I glance up at her. For some reason, that makes me even more nervous. I push away my embarrassment and focus on her features. For all the times I've looked at her, I haven't really seen just how perfectly her features flow into each other. It's the first time I've noticed just how truly beautiful she is, and my face flushes from the thought. The next time I glance up at Valerie, her smile looks even more genuine. Or it looks more genuine. I know she saw me blush, and that makes me blush even more. After a few more minutes, I drop my pencil. Okay? Done. Valerie breaks from her pose.
Let me see.
Pushing forward the sketchbook, I wonder if she'll like that I drew her. With tiggle bitties, as accurately as possible, like an ironing board. As accurately as possible. I did my best! She stares at the drawing and her eyes grow wide. She grabs the sketchbook off the table and studies it closely. I hope it's okay.
This is more than okay. It's really good.
Phew! Good, alright. I blink. I'd anticipated she'd use a lot of choice words, but good was not one of them. Really?
Yeah, you really captured the eyes. They're so expressive.
I actually really like eyes, and drawing, I find eyes very difficult to do, so good job in-game me for nailing it, apparently. Do they look like they're up to no good? She laughs.
They look like they only do good.
All the time. Then I guess I've still got a long way to go. She continues to look at the drawing. You really think it's that good?
Mm-hmm. It's really pretty.
I had a good model. I just drew what I saw. She hugs the sketchpad to her chest and beams. Well, it's good to know that if this whole engineering thing doesn't work out, you can always fall back on a modeling career.
I'll keep that in mind.
Her cheeks are tinged pink. I think she's genuinely flattered. Valerie glances at the time and wrinkles her nose.
I've got class soon.
Don't sound so excited about it.
It's not a fun one.
Which one is it?
Introduction to Art History.
Well, perfect timing. Don't you like art?
I do. And since I also like history, I thought this would be a good choice for one of my electives.
But, so why the disappointment?
Well, it turns out that although I like history and I like actually creating art, learning about other people creating art is not as fun.
Shame. So was watching me create art for you today not fun either? She smirks.
That doesn't count. I was part of the creative process.
That is true. That is true. That's true. She glances again at the time and gathers her things.
Okay, I've gotta head out.
I nod. Bye. After we pay for our drinks, we head our separate ways, but not before I catch Valerie fondly sneak another peek at my drawing. Well, I'm glad she liked it. It's quiet in the house when I arrive home. I guess no one's here. It's no surprise that Uncle Kaito's still at work, but I would have expected Nikki to be home by now. Have you checked your phone? She's been spending more and more time at her cooking club. It must be going really well. I hope so. I like Nikki and I want only the best for her. I should take advantage of the quiet and study. As I head upstairs, a blonde head peeks around the corner.
Is that you, Big Bro?
It is! I pause at the top of the stairs. Hey, I didn't know you were home. Nikki grins mischievously.
Is it because for once I wasn't slaving away in the kitchen waiting for you to come back?
It is, you got me. A little bit, but it's not a bad thing. Good woman should know her place. No, it was way too quiet. You're like the waifu I didn't ask for. Yeah, I'll play along, yeah. A little bit, but it's not a bad thing. Since you cook so often, I basically associate food with you now. Her eyebrow was raised in either confusion or thought.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not.
Sorry, I meant I only associate yummy food with you. Nikki wears that same look for a moment longer, then shrugs, then... No, T-H-E-N.
Thanks, I think. Anyway, before you so rudely distracted me, I had a question for you.
Oh, go for it, by all means. What is it?
Can you give me a ride to the beach tomorrow?
You're going to the beach too? I blink at her. How did you know I was going to the beach?
Because tomorrow is Umiko's festival?
Oh yeah, it's... yeah, how do you know about that? Nikki stares at me as if I have two heads.
Because I live in Isokaze. Did you know about this?
Not exactly. Sho didn't specify why we were going when he invited me.
And you didn't bother to ask.
Do I really need a reason to go to the beach?
Fair point.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know, tomorrow is a festival to honor Umiko, the protector of Isokaze. A
Oh.
long time ago, the Dragon King threatened to drown the island if Umiko didn't marry him. So when she agreed to live with him in his underwater castle, she stole his magical pearl and now uses it to control the waves.
Oh, so how were the waves controlled before? Huh, that's pretty cool. How'd you learn about this?
You know I've always loved mythologies.
Yeah, that's true. I've always known that. That's true.
So, can you take me or not?
Sure, I'll be leaving at 10:45. Her face falls.
Oh,
Why, oh.
well, my friends aren't gonna be there until later.
It's alright, you could chill with me. So hitch a ride with them.
I don't really feel comfortable asking them.
Why not, if they're your friends? Fine, then you can come with me.
But you're going so early.
Just more time at the beach, I don't know, then take the bus. She smiles sweetly.
When I said early, I actually meant that's perfect.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. That's... I said that before reading him saying that. Nikki cranes her neck to peek down the stairs behind me. It's so fun when that kind of thing happens, when I say something and then I realize the in-game me said the same thing. It's fun.
You hungry yet?
A bit, yeah.
Me too. Come on, let's go downstairs and see what we have.
She moves past me and flies down the stairs. I follow her slowly. Nikki and I whip up a quick dinner, then I spend the rest of the night looking up more information about the festival before going to bed. I flip around in bed, too excited to settle down, before finally drifting off to sleep.